Mike Klumpp here. Thank you for having me at your banquet there. And I hope you're enjoying your meal and enjoying your time. Today's a pretty day in Hong Kong. I teach at International Christian School here in the Hong Kong area, and we're having a great day today. I want to take this opportunity to encourage you on your walk as single parents. Congratulations on your climb wherever you are so far. You're doing a great job. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to do a TED Talk. And one of the people doing a TED Talk at the same time that I was doing my talk is a friend of mine named Paul Neal. I had met Paul a few years before at an Oxford-Cambridge dinner. Paul has the distinction of having climbed Mount Everest, and if I'm not mistaken, holds the record for climbing Mount Everest and K1 peak to peak in the least amount of time. Paul, at the dinner or at the TED Talk, talks about his journey up Everest. And when he talks about his journey, he takes you through photographs and through various movie clips up Mount Everest. And the climb is really fascinating. You go from base camp to various stations, and there are 2 or 3 stations as you go up the mountain toward the peak, and each station becomes incredibly more difficult. There are huge fissures that you have to cross over, and there are pictures looking down into these glacial breaks in the ice where you're crossing on a little thin ladder, and your heart must be just racing and beating as you struggle to get across. He talks about how terrifying some of those things were. All the time you're fighting the weather and the elements, and each station the air gets a little thinner and a little thinner. So one day you're able to walk up, then you get to your next camp. The next day you can maybe only walk 1,000 yards at a time, and after you get 1,000 yards into your journey, you have to break, take a rest, catch your breath, and finally from the last station going towards the peak, you can only take 3 to 5 to 7 steps at a time, basically crawling up the mountainside. And each time that you take those 3 to 5, 7 steps, you have to stop and catch your breath. And it made me think about the journey of single parenting, because single parenting is like a reverse order of that journey. You start single parenting and it's very difficult. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it. Sometimes you're in shock from having lost your spouse, whether it's through natural causes or through divorce. You find yourself in a journey that you weren't prepared for. And so you're climbing down that mountain, but you can only take a few steps at a time. It gets a little easier as you go. And the next level, you're able to move 1,000 yards, 2,000 yards, until finally you have your family back on solid ground. The journey gets easier as you go. Now, I have been a black belt for several years and hold DANs in 6 different disciplines. But nothing that I've ever done is any more difficult than single parenting. So, as you make your climb down Everest, remember it's going to get easier. Keep your eye focused on the summit. And know that God promises in Romans 8:28 that all things come together for good for those who are in Christ Jesus and purposed according to his will. Keep your focus on God. Keep your drive and focus on the summit of getting your family back on solid ground, and you will complete the journey, someday look back and be able to count it as a marvelous time. God bless you and have a great night. Enjoy your time, and thank you.